So you're about to drop serious cash on a Samsung TV, but you're staring at 50 different models wondering what the hell the difference is between Neo QLED, Crystal UHD, and whatever fancy names Samsung cooked up this year. I spent 3 weeks testing these TVs, and some will blow your mind while others, well, your wallet will thank you for watching this first. Here's what nobody tells you. The most expensive isn't always the best for your setup. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which Samsung TV is perfect for your room and budget, plus some insider tips Samsung doesn't want you to know. And if you see a TV you love, I've dropped updated links with the best pricing in the description below. 5. Samsung DU7200. Let's kick things off with the Samsung DU7200. And honestly, this is where Samsung really shows they haven't forgotten about us budget-conscious folks. Starting at around $399 for the 43-inch model and going up to about $899 for the 85-inch beast, this TV punches way above its weight class. The Crystal UHD processor does some serious heavy lifting here, upscaling your regular HD content to look surprisingly crisp on that 4K panel. I've been watching some older Netflix shows on this thing, and the difference is actually noticeable without being overly processed or artificial looking. What really caught me off guard is how Samsung managed to squeeze their Tizen Smart platform into this price range without making it feel sluggish. You're getting all your major streaming apps, Netflix, Disney+, HBO Max, the whole gang, and they actually load pretty quickly. The colors pop nicely thanks to Samsung's per-color technology, though don't expect the deep blacks you'd get from their higher-end models. The sound is decent for a budget TV, though you'll probably want to grab a soundbar eventually. The build quality feels solid too, not like some of those flimsy budget TVs that feel like they'll fall apart if you look at them wrong. The gaming performance is where this TV really surprises people. You're getting 4K gaming at 60 Hz, which is perfectly fine for most console gamers, and the input lag is low enough that you won't notice any delays during those intense gaming sessions. Sure, it's not going to compete with Samsung's gaming-focused models, but for the price, it's honestly impressive. The only real downsides are the lack of local dimming and the somewhat limited viewing angles, but when you're paying this little for a 4K Samsung TV, those feel like pretty minor complaints. 4. Samsung Neo. Now we're stepping into serious territory with the QN90F, and this is where Samsung's Neo QLED technology really starts to flex. We're looking at about $1,299 for the 55-inch model, scaling up to around $3,499 for the 85-inch version, which honestly isn't bad considering what you're getting here. The Quantum Mini LEDs are the real star of the show. We're talking about thousands of these tiny LEDs creating incredibly precise backlighting zones. What this means for you is that when you're watching a movie with dark scenes, the blacks actually look black instead of that washed-out gray you get with cheaper TVs. The Vision AI processing is where things get really interesting. And I'll be honest, I was skeptical at first, but this thing actually learns your viewing habits and optimizes the picture accordingly. It recognizes what type of content you're watching, whether it's a dark thriller, a bright sports game, or an animated movie, and adjusts everything from brightness to color saturation automatically. The anti-glare screen coating works way better than I expected too. I've got this thing set up in a room with windows, and even during bright afternoons, I can still see everything clearly without having to close all the blinds. Gaming on this TV is absolutely fantastic, especially if you've got a PS5 or Xbox Series X. We're talking 4K at 120 Hz with variable rate refresh and auto low latency mode that kicks in automatically when it detects your console. The colors are vibrant without being oversaturated, and the motion handling during fast-paced games is smooth as butter. The Tizen interface feels snappy and responsive, and Samsung's included some neat features like multi-view that lets you watch TV while keeping an eye on your smart home cameras or other apps. The only thing that might bug some people is that the TV is pretty thick compared to some ultra-thin models, but honestly, that's because there's actual technology packed in there. 3. Samsung The Frame. The Frame is one of those products that makes you wonder why nobody thought of it sooner. And Samsung has really perfected this concept over the years. You're looking at around $999 for the 43-inch model up to about $2,999 for the 75-inch version. Plus, you'll want to budget for the bezels and art store subscription. But hear me out on why this might be worth every penny. When this TV is off, it literally disappears into your wall as a piece of art. I'm not exaggerating. I've had friends walk into my living room and not even realize there's a TV there until I turn it on. The customizable bezels are genius. You can swap between different styles and colors to match your room's aesthetic, and they attach magnetically, so it takes about 2 seconds to change them. Samsung's art store has thousands of pieces ranging from classic paintings to modern photography, and you can even upload your own photos to display. The matte anti-reflection screen is crucial here because it really sells the illusion that you're looking at a real framed piece of art rather than a TV screen. The picture quality when you're actually watching content is solid QLED performance with good color reproduction and decent brightness, though it's not quite as impressive as Samsung's other QLED models in the same price range. What makes the frame special isn't just the art mode, though. It's how seamlessly it integrates into your living space. The slim fit wall mount makes it sit almost flush against the wall, and the nearly invisible cable solution keeps everything clean looking. The motion sensor automatically turns the art display on and off based on whether someone's in the room, which is a nice touch for saving energy. Gaming performance is respectable at 4K 60Hz with good input lag, and the smart features are all there with Tizen. This isn't the TV you buy if you want the absolute best picture quality for movies. But if you care about how your living space looks and feels, the frame transforms a TV from an eyesore into actual home decor. 2. Samsung QN990F. The QN990F is Samsung's 8K flagship. And honestly, this is where we start getting into, am I really about to spend this much on a TV territory? We're talking $2,799 for the 65-inch model, and it goes up from there, with the 85-inch version hitting around $5,999. But here's the thing about 8K. Even though there's barely any native 8K content available, Samsung's AI upscaling is so good that it almost doesn't matter. This TV takes your regular 4K content and makes it look noticeably sharper and more detailed than it has any right to. The Neo QLED technology here is basically Samsung showing off everything they can do. We're talking about even more quantum mini LEDs than the QN90F, creating incredible contrast and brightness levels that can go toe-to-toe with some OLED displays while still maintaining that LED brightness advantage. The Object Depth Enhancer uses AI to analyze each scene and add subtle depth cues that make everything feel more three-dimensional. It sounds gimmicky, but when you're watching nature documentaries or action movies, the effect is genuinely impressive. The anti-glare coating is even better than the QN90F, making this usable in basically any lighting condition. Gaming is where this TV really justifies its existence if you're someone who cares about future-proofing. We're getting 8K at 60 Hz and 4K at 120 Hz, with all the variable rate refresh and low latency features you could want. The AI optimization works in real time during gaming too, adjusting settings based on the type of game you're playing. The sound system is surprisingly good for a TV. Samsung's built in a pretty capable array that actually provides decent bass and clear dialogue without needing an immediate soundbar upgrade. The build quality is absolutely premium, and the Tizen interface handles all that processing power without any lag or stuttering. The main downsides are obvious. It's expensive, it's power-hungry, and you're paying for 8K resolution that most content can't fully utilize yet. But if you want the most advanced display technology Samsung offers and you've got the budget for it, this thing is impressive. 1. Samsung S95F. The S95F is Samsung's answer to LG and Sony's OLED dominance. And honestly, they might have just pulled it off. Starting at around $1,899 for the 55-inch model and going up to about $3,799 for the 77-inch version. This represents Samsung's best attempt at combining OLED's perfect blacks with their own quantum dot color technology. The result is what Samsung calls QD-OLED, and the picture quality is absolutely stunning. Each pixel can turn completely off for true blacks, but the quantum dots provide color brightness and saturation that often surpasses traditional OLED panels. The Vision AI processing here is the most advanced Samsung offers, and it really shows. The TV recognizes faces, objects, and different types of content to optimize everything from color temperature to motion smoothing in real time. HDR performance is exceptional. Both Dolby Vision and HDR10+ look incredible with highlights that can get surprisingly bright for an OLED, while maintaining those perfect black levels. The anti-reflection coating works well, though not quite as effectively as Samsung's Neo QLED models, which is typical for OLED technology. What really impressed me is how Samsung handled motion processing.